everyone, welcome back to another video. We are on part 2 of our color mixing series. Today we are focusing on mixing the color gray. So let's jump right in. Okay, so to start, I'm going to go through my materials. I am using my Etchr Lab Cold Press Watercolor Sketchbook. I have my Winsor Newton Cotman colors in my palette. I'm just going to go through the colors that I have again: dioxazine purple, permanent rose, turquoise, ultramarine blue, hooker's green dark, sap green, cadmium yellow, and cadmium red deep. These are the only colors we're using for this series, so if you're on a budget and you can only afford a few colors, these are the 8 that I suggest starting with, especially for this challenge. My Princeton snap brushes in a size 6 and 12 round, water, paper towel, and we're ready to go. Okay, so today we are mixing the color gray, which I'm excited about because I surprisingly love gray. A lot of my interior design elements in my house are gray. I wear a lot of gray. I just like gray. So we're going to be mixing that today. And unlike last video we did on this, which was purple, purple was already a color in our palette and we just created new shades of it. We have to completely make gray on our own using these colors because we do not have a gray color in our palette. So this is going to be a bit more challenging, but fun. So I am going to start off with mixing my favorite shade of gray, which is half dioxazine purple, half hooker's green dark. Okay, so I'm going to grab some dioxazine purple here. And this is going to be kind of like our base for our grays. Okay, and you got to try and get exactly half. So you might want to play around. Like right now, this is already a bit too purple. I'm going to add a bit more green. And that's pretty good right there. Okay. You can hear my son. Okay, so this is our kind of neutral gray. It's a bit more on the bluishy purple side because I think I have a bit more purple in there. But this is kind of the color we're going to work off of. And like every other color that we mix, this is the darker shade. We can make a lighter shade of it by dipping our paintbrush in our water, running it against the side. And you have a light wash of it, a lighter value. And you can keep going lighter and lighter and lighter just by doing the same kind of thing over and over again. But there we go. There is our neutral gray. So, hi, I'm filming. I love you. Bye. Okay, so now let's work off of this gray. So this is kind of a neutral gray. I really like blue grays, so naturally we just add a bit more blue. Now I have turquoise in here, which is a cooler blue, which means it leans a bit more towards green. And then I have a warmer blue here, ultramarine, that leads a bit more towards purple. So depending on which kind of way you want to go with this, I'm going to go for ultramarine because I kind of like the warmer color. I'm just going to add a little bit there. And we have this blue gray. It's very subtle. You can make it a bit more intense if you like. And I'm just going to do a lighter wash to show you the lighter washes of them too. You have like a blue gray there. Okay. So let's mix more of our kind of neutral gray, whoopsie, tones. So our hooker's green and our purple. Okay. There we go. Let's try and add a bit of turquoise to it to get a different kind of bluey green. This is a bit more of a vibranty one. Okay, it's very similar, but it's a bit more on the blue side. And then the lighter wash of it like that. Okay, another green gray I like to make is a warm gray. So I could either add a warm color like red or pink. I'm going to go with the pink to see how that goes. And you just want to add the slightest little bit. Okay, and you have this nice warm gray. Again, a lighter wash of it. Okay, again, let's gray it up with a bit more of the dioxazine purple and the green. Okay, let's try and add some red. See what that does to it. That's a nice one too. And that's a bit of a darker one because red is darker than the pink. So you get a nice dark warm gray. Lighten it up like that. Okay, let's make our gray mixture again. And there's other ways to make gray too, but this is just kind of my go-to. Okay, so try and do half and half. Okay, and then let's add a bit of yellow and see what that does. I think it's gonna make a bit more of a brownish kind of gray. Ooh, I like that one. That's like a cool kind of neutral, like an elephant gray. But like, look at all these different shades of gray we're making just by mixing a couple colors here and there. I'm gonna add a little bit of red to it, see if I can make like a bit of a browny kind of gray. So a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow. It's a bit too much yellow. There we go. A little bit of green, a little bit of purple. There we go, that's cute too. It's like a beige kind of gray. And there you go. Honestly, look at all those different shades of gray, and I'm sure you could make more using different, like the sap green. Oh, let's do a gray green. Sorry, gray green, greenish gray. Okay, sorry. This is one I use the most often. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. So dioxazine purple and Hooker's green dark. You're just gonna add a bit more of Hooker's green. And it's this greenish gray, which I love for florals, especially like when you do kind of like a neutral color palette for florals. And then you can add a bit more green if you like to it. And then if you lighten it up, it has this really beautiful kind of like a succulent color or eucalyptus color, which I use very often. And you could always add sap green to it to brighten it up. A little bit of dioxazine purple. Okay. So many ways you can go with this. Now you may be thinking like, why do I want to mix gray? Like, especially if I'm doing florals, like it's kind of like a dull color. There's something beautiful, to me at least, about a nice neutral gray floral design, especially if you're, you know, interior design in your house like mine is a bit more on the neutral kind of subtle side. I'm not too vibrant with my colors in my house. So when I do paint things for my house, I do usually have like a clean white or gray tone to it. So I suggest that we, you know, maybe paint some florals using this. So thinking of some flowers to paint. Let's just do a simple rose. And I think I'm going to go for more of the bluish gray neutrally colors. Let's see. I don't know. So let's use this. Let's kind of create that gray tone again. And I had a little bit of blue there, so it's going to be on the bluish side. So that's kind of a bit dark. So I'm just going to take some of it off my paintbrush, and I'm going to start by creating a little rose color. Also, grays are great for mixing. If you want to do a white colored flower, if you've watched any of my videos on doing white florals, nothing is actually white, right? Because if we're going to use white paint on a white piece of paper, you're not going to see it. You always want to have some sort of undertone. So this is going to give you so much variety for when you do your white florals. They're all going to have different kind of undertones. You can have that yellow undertone, the beige, the green, the blue, the purple, pink, you know, whatever. So this is really going to help with doing white florals. So I'm just going to continue to take off some of that paint on my paintbrush, just dipping it in my water, running it against the side. So it gets lighter as we get further out, like that. And I also really liked that warm gray too. This is, actually I'm gonna create another just plain gray again. Like that. And then, oopsie, get that neutral color back, okay? And then I think was it yellow we added to it? To get that nice kind of, a bit more purple, a bit more green. I think that's cute too, okay? And then I'll do maybe like a little, I don't even know what kind of flower I'm doing. Just doing some curvy petal shapes. Blending it into each other. I constantly take off more color as I get further out, so it's darker in the center. It's almost like a peony kind of shape. Like that. Just a fluffy one. Maybe let's add a little bit of red and see if we can warm it up a bit. Maybe do another little flower here. I know this is kind of weird and messy. Okay, and then you can really make these light gray flowers or like white flowers pop once you get that greenery in around it. Let me just wet this up just to make sure it's still wet so I can get some nice color bleeds. Okay, I'm gonna mix my gray or my green gray with the more of the Hooker's green and make it nice and dark so it really kind of frames these light colored flowers. And then you can have some nice color bleeds, and I'll take some off just to make some lighter. You can add a bit of sap green too if you really want to make it a bit more green. Maybe a bit more purple, maybe a bit more grayish. And these color bleeds are really kind of what help frame the flowers, especially white flowers, because they're kind of hard to see, but once you get those color bleeds in there, it kind of breaks them up a bit. Okay, and you can just make it lighter as you get out further away. I feel like I need a bit more darkness in here. I don't really know what went on with this flower, but it's all good. Yeah, that gray-green color. Oops, a bit more green. Just really filling it up around there just to frame those florals. Okay. And try not to overwhelm your piece with a lot of dark greenery. Start doing some lighter ones so you're really filling it up and framing it, but it's not like too intense. You can add a bit more darkness to some of the stems. Okay, there you go. There's some gray florals, and I think if I were to do it again, I'd maybe go a little bit darker. Let's see if I can still do that in the centers, just to make some of the centers pop. Come on. Get that nice, like that. A bit more red. Like that. Okay, so there's some light or gray colored florals, and this would also be great for some succulents too. So there you go. It's a lot simpler than you think, and just have fun with it.
Thank you all so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram and Facebook for even more. Have a great day, guys. Bye.